Ancient electrical device. In 1936, workers digging near Baghdad found a clay jar that would challenge everything we know about old technology. Inside the 2,000-year-old container was a copper tube, an iron rod, and signs of acidic liquid. When scientists looked at it, they realized what they were seeing. An ancient battery made over 1,800 years before electricity was supposedly discovered. The jar was found in old ruins from around 200 BCE. It was about 5 inches tall, sealed with tar. Inside, a copper tube surrounded an iron rod. Chemical tests showed it once held an acidic liquid, likely vinegar or wine. When a researcher saw the setup looked just like a modern battery, he built a copy using materials available in ancient Mesopotamia. He filled it with grape juice as the liquid conductor. The device made electrical power of about 1.1 to 2 volts. The ancient jar wasn't just similar to a battery by accident. It was a working electrical device. If ancient people had batteries, what were they powering? Ancient writings from the area talked about divine lights that burned without flame in temple rooms. Metal objects from the same time show signs of electroplating, a process that needs electrical power. Several similar devices have been found in the same area, all following the same design. The matching design suggests careful building for a specific purpose, not accidental similarity to modern batteries. Regular archaeology has trouble explaining the discovery. The official answer is that the jars stored scrolls, even though the copper tubes were sealed and not good for that purpose. Requests to study leftover material for proof of chemical reactions have been turned down. The few scientists who've tried serious study have found their work stopped. Most troubling is what happened to the original objects. Many were kept in museums where they were damaged or disappeared during war in 2003. The most complete examples that could have clearly proven the battery idea are now gone. The ancient battery shows everything uncomfortable about out-of-place objects. It's real, can be measured, can be copied, and it shouldn't exist according to our history timeline. 2. Precision stone drilling. Spread across Egypt are stone objects showing drilling methods that shouldn't have been possible for ancient people. Drill holes in granite, one of the hardest stones on Earth, show signs of high-speed machine work and cutting speeds that go beyond what can be done with bronze tools. The exactness suggests machinery more advanced than anything supposedly available. The most puzzling examples are core samples pulled out when drill holes were made. These cores show clear spiral grooves with steady spacing, showing the drill went into solid granite at about 1 inch per turn, a speed impossible with hand tools and difficult even with modern equipment. Engineers who've looked at the cores notice that the spiral grooves have regular, even spacing, proof of machine drilling at steady speed and pressure. Hand drilling makes uneven grooves because pressure and speed change. The ancient cores show no such change, suggesting machine exactness. The drill holes are perfectly round and stay the same width throughout their depth. Any wobble or wrong alignment would make the hole wider. The ancient holes show no such problems. They are as exactly lined up as modern machine-drilled holes. What makes this amazing is the stone's hardness. Granite has a hardness rating of 6 to 7 on the Mohs scale. Copper and bronze tools available to ancient Egyptians have ratings of only 3 to 4. According to material science, you cannot cut a material with a tool softer than the material itself. The usual explanation is copper tools with sand as a rough material. But experiments trying to copy ancient drilling using this method have failed. Modern researchers get speeds of only a few millimeters per turn. The ancient cores show speeds over 10 times faster. One researcher noticed another odd thing. The grooves cut equally deep through both quartz and feldspar crystals in granite. These minerals have different hardness levels. Hand drilling would cut softer feldspar faster, creating uneven grooves. The ancient grooves are perfectly even, suggesting a cutting process that worked equally well on both minerals, like modern diamond-tip drilling. Modern stone workers admit they'd have trouble copying these even with today's equipment. Making perfectly round, exactly lined-up holes in granite needs advanced machinery. How ancient craftsmen got similar results stays unexplained. 3. Prehistoric metal spheres. Deep in South African mines, workers have found hundreds of metal spheres in rock layers going back 2.8 billion years, long before complex life existed on Earth. The spheres are perfectly round, some with exact parallel grooves around them, made from a nickel-steel mix that doesn't happen naturally. They shouldn't exist, yet they keep being found. The spheres were first found in the 1980s in mineral deposits. Workers digging rock found metal spheres stuck in stone. The rock formations were dated to 2.8 billion years old using standard geological methods. The spheres measure roughly 1 to 4 inches across. Many are perfectly round with surface smoothness suggesting artificial making. Most amazingly, several have 3 parallel grooves running around their middle, exact, evenly spaced lines that look machined. When geologists looked at them, they expected to find a natural explanation. But tests showed they were made of nickel-steel mix. This metal combination doesn't happen naturally in the geological place where they were found. Steel is a mix requiring melting, a technology process. The depth where the spheres were found rules out recent origin. They were stuck in solid rock, often dozens of feet below the surface in formations undisturbed for billions of years. Museum workers note their remarkably matching size and shape. Natural geological formations show differences. These spheres show matching qualities suggesting making to specific sizes. The parallel grooves especially challenge natural explanation. Geological processes don't create exact, evenly spaced parallel lines. The spheres are extremely hard, much harder than surrounding rock. The metal makeup and hardness don't match any known mineral that could have formed naturally. The age of the rock presents an impossible problem. The formations are 2.8 billion years old, formed when Earth's air had no oxygen, when only simple bacteria existed, over 2 billion years before multicelled organisms evolved. Humans wouldn't appear for another 2.8 billion years. The official answer is that the spheres must be natural formations despite all proof to the contrary. Museums display them as geological oddities without explaining what geological process could have made them. Miners keep finding new spheres regularly from deep deposits. The natural explanation becomes increasingly hard to believe. 4. Ancient astronomical computer. In 1901, divers recovered a rusted bronze mechanism from an ancient shipwreck off Greece. For decades, it sat in museums, dismissed as a simple navigation device. Then, X-ray tests revealed the truth. Inside was a complex system of over 30 connecting gears doing astronomical calculations that shouldn't have been possible for another 1,500 years. The shipwreck was dated to about 60 BCE. The bronze mechanism first looked like a rusted lump of no importance. In the 1950s, X-rays showed something amazing. Detailed connecting bronze gears, exactly cut teeth, and mechanical parts of remarkable complexity. Further tests revealed over 30 separate gear wheels with teeth so tiny they could barely be seen without magnification. The gears were arranged in complex chains, multiple gears working together to do math calculations. The design showed understanding of differential gearing, a method that wouldn't be reinvented until the 16th century. Researchers determined what the device calculated: positions of the sun, moon, and planets, predictions of eclipses, and dates of Olympic Games. It was an astronomical calculator. Users turned a crank and the gears figured out sky positions for any given date. When engineers studied the gear ratios, they found the gears showed astronomical ratios discovered by ancient Greek astronomers. The mechanism contained advanced math understanding of sky mechanics. The exactness of gear cutting shows both theory knowledge and manufacturing ability far beyond what historians believed ancient Greeks had. The miniaturization is especially striking. The gears are small and tightly packed, needing exact manufacturing methods. Making gears with such tiny teeth requires advanced metalworking equipment, machines supposedly unavailable for another 1,000 years. Modern attempts to rebuild the mechanism using ancient tools have struggled. Making gears with necessary exactness is extremely difficult without modern machine tools. The device proves ancient people had technology abilities that later cultures lost and wouldn't rediscover for over 1,000 years. Medieval Europe would have considered this mechanism impossibly advanced. Yet, it was made in ancient Greece and casually used on a merchant ship. The archaeological establishment treats the mechanism as a unique oddity, but ancient Greek writings mention mechanical devices and automated machines. The shipwreck mechanism might not be unique. It might simply be the only one that survived. How much ancient technology was lost because mechanisms rusted into unrecognizable lumps or were melted down? 5. Mapmakers' impossible knowledge. In 1929, scholars found an ancient map in a Turkish palace that would challenge everything historians believed about early exploration. The map drawn in 1513 showed the coastline of Antarctica, a continent that wouldn't be discovered for another 300 years. Even more impossibly, it showed Antarctica without ice, showing mountain ranges and rivers buried under mile-thick glacier for over 6,000 years. The map was made by an Ottoman naval commander based on older source maps. His notes show he put together information from about 20 ancient charts. What he made showed geographical knowledge that supposedly didn't exist in the 16th century. The most controversial feature is the southern continent. The coastline matches Antarctica with remarkable accuracy, not as it looks today under ice, but as it would look without ice coverage. The map shows bays, inlets, and coastal features currently under thousands of feet of ice, not discovered until the 1950s using sound wave surveys. When researchers compared the map to modern surveys, they found something amazing. The coastline details matched, but the projection was unusual, as if made using azimuthal equidistant projections centered on Cairo. This projection needs spherical trigonometry and advanced math knowledge. The accuracy goes beyond Antarctica. The map shows the Mediterranean, North Africa, South America, and Atlantic islands with remarkable exactness. Relative positions of continents are correct. Latitudes are accurate. Even small Caribbean islands are positioned correctly. Most disturbing is what the map suggests about ice-free Antarctica. If the map shows Antarctica from a time with less ice coverage, roughly 6,000 years ago, it means the source maps were made by a civilization capable of advanced sea exploration and map-making 6,000 years ago, over 2,000 years before ancient Egypt. When the map was studied by mapmakers in the 1950s, they were confused. The United States Air Force mapmaking section confirmed the map showed Antarctica's coastline with accuracy similar to modern surveys. They had no explanation for how a 16th century map could have this information. The creator's own notes state he put together the map from ancient sources. He specifically mentions using very old maps, some from the time of Alexander the Great. This suggests he had access to sources keeping geographic knowledge from ancient times, knowledge far more accurate than historians believe possible. If the source maps showed ice-free Antarctica, they were made during a narrow window thousands of years ago. This requires a civilization capable of sea exploration, navigation, surveying, and map-making at advancement levels supposedly not reached until the age of exploration. Regular historians dismiss the map's suggestions. When asked about the remarkable accuracy confirmed by modern surveys, they suggest the mapmaker made lucky guesses. The proof is ignored rather than explained. 6. Stone chamber acoustics. Hidden in ancient ruins are stone rooms built with sound properties so advanced they wouldn't be copied until modern concert hall design. These rooms amplify specific sound waves, remove echoes, and create sound effects that need understanding of wave physics. The exactness suggests advanced sound engineering, knowledge that supposedly didn't exist thousands of years ago. The chambers are typically small rooms carved from solid rock or built with exactly fitted stone blocks. What makes them amazing is their sound behavior, properties only discovered when researchers began doing tests. One studied example is a chamber carved entirely from limestone. When researchers tested the sound quality, they found the chamber vibrates strongly at exactly 110 Hz, a specific exact frequency. The vibration is so strong that when played, the entire room shakes noticeably. Modern sound engineers studying the chamber found its design shouldn't work according to known sound principles. Yet, it makes effects needing advanced understanding of sound wave behavior. Making this sound response by accident would be extremely unlikely. The frequency is especially interesting because research shows 110 Hz affects brain activity. Brain wave measurements of people exposed to this frequency show changes in brain wave patterns, increased activity in areas connected with emotion and change consciousness. Were ancient designers aware of these brain effects? Other chambers show different but equally advanced properties. Some amplify sound, letting whispers be heard across large distances. Others remove echoes completely. Some selectively amplify certain frequencies while reducing others, natural filtering needing complex sound engineering. In one chamber, researchers found the room responds differently to male and female voices, amplifying male frequencies while reducing female ones. Making this selective response needs understanding of frequency ranges and harmonic filtering, the kind of advanced design found in modern concert halls. The exactness of buildings suggests sound properties were a main design consideration. Walls are carved to exact smoothness. Angles are exact. Sizes follow specific proportions. This is engineered building aimed at achieving particular sound behaviors. Modern attempts to copy the sound properties have struggled. Engineers using computer modeling and modern building methods find it hard to match the effects ancient chambers make. What's puzzling is how ancient builders would have found and tested these properties. Making chambers with specific vibrating frequencies needs understanding the relationship between room sizes, materials, and sound wavelengths. The chambers also show proof of sound blocking from surrounding spaces, thick walls, or air gaps preventing sound transfer. Modern recording studios use similar methods, but ancient builders supposedly lacked theory knowledge to understand why such blocking was necessary. 7. Precision crystal skulls. Spread across ancient sites are crystal and quartz objects carved with exactness that modern gem cutters struggle to match. These aren't rough carvings. They are optically perfect lenses, exactly shaped spheres, and objects machined to tolerances measured in micrometers. Yet, ancient craftsmen made crystal objects showing perfection that suggests advanced machine technology. Quartz crystal has a hardness of 7 on the Mohs scale, harder than any metal available to ancient people. Working quartz needs tools harder than quartz itself. Modern gem cutters use diamond-tip tools and high-speed spinning equipment. What makes ancient crystal objects remarkable is the absence of tool marks. Modern tests reveal surfaces polished to optical quality, perfectly smooth at tiny level, free from scratches or polishing lines. Getting this needs specific methods and equipment supposedly unavailable in the ancient world. One researcher studying ancient crystal objects found some objects showed proof of spinning cutting, with perfectly round cuts and steady widths. The cuts were too exact for hand tools. The proofs suggested machines, power tools at steady speeds. Crystal spheres present another mystery. Multiple ancient cultures made perfectly round quartz objects. Making a perfect sphere from hard crystal needs extremely exact material removal. Ancient spheres looked at under exact measurement show roundness within tolerances that challenge modern manufacturing. Modern gem cutters trying to copy ancient crystal objects using only hand tools and ancient rough materials have failed to match the exactness. What they make shows tool marks and unevenness. The ancient objects show none of these features. Some crystal objects show internal features suggesting even more advanced abilities. Exactly carved internal channels and suspended features that needed selective material removal from inside solid crystal without damaging surrounding areas. The optical quality of some ancient crystal objects is especially remarkable. Crystal lenses showing correct curved shape for focusing light have optical surfaces exactly shaped and polished to remove distortion. When researchers look at these lenses under laboratory conditions, they find optical properties matching modern exact lenses. The curve is correct for focal length. The surface finish removes distortion. These are exact optical parts made to demanding specifications. The manufacturing exactness suggests knowledge of crystal structure and working properties. Ancient crystal objects show proof that craftsmen understood and worked with crystal properties, suggesting advanced material science knowledge. The official explanation for crystal object exactness is patience and skill. Ancient craftsmen had time and developed amazing abilities through practice. But this explanation ignores physical limits. No amount of patience creates microscopically perfect surfaces when working quartz with softer materials. 8. Ancient concrete formula. Roman structures built 2,000 years ago remain standing today, while modern concrete structures begin crumbling after 50 years. The Romans made concrete that grows stronger over time, especially in seawater, a property modern engineers can't copy. The technology was lost for over 1,000 years and has only recently begun to be understood. The most remarkable examples are Roman harbor structures, piers, and breakwaters that have withstood 2,000 years of seawater exposure. Modern marine concrete typically begins breaking down within decades. Roman marine concrete has actually grown stronger, with mineral crystals growing through the structure, filling cracks and strengthening the material. When geologists looked at Roman marine concrete under microscopes, they found ongoing chemical reactions, mineral formation happening over centuries that strengthened the structure. Seawater reacting with volcanic ash and lime made new crystalline structures that bound the material together more tightly. Modern concrete is exactly controlled with exact formulas. Yet, it's basically weaker than ancient Roman concrete. Modern concrete cracks over time and breaks down especially quickly in seawater. The key to Roman concrete's properties is the reaction between volcanic ash, lime, and seawater. The volcanic ash contains reactive minerals that go through slow chemical reactions with seawater. This creates new minerals that grow through the concrete, healing cracks and making it stronger. What makes this impressive is the implications for ancient material science. Romans carefully selected volcanic ash from specific locations, used particular types of lime, and added mineral chunks. This needed understanding of material properties, suggesting advanced hands-on research. Perhaps most frustrating for modern engineers is the environmental benefit. Roman concrete production needed lower temperatures than modern Portland cement, resulting in much lower carbon emissions while making superior material. Modern attempts to recreate Roman concrete using ancient formulas have had mixed success. Recent research has made concrete that begins showing self-healing properties, but getting full strength and durability needs exact conditions the Romans apparently knew through practical experience. The loss of Roman concrete technology represents one of history's most significant technology setbacks. For over 1,000 years after Rome's fall, European builders couldn't make structures approaching Roman quality. Modern rediscovery of Roman concrete chemistry has only happened through advanced analytical methods, scanning electron microscopy, X-ray diffraction, chemical analysis at molecular level. Ancient Romans got the same results through hands-on research and practical knowledge. 9. Miniature golden airplanes. Archaeologists investigating pre-Columbian sites found small golden objects looking like modern aircraft. The objects showed streamlined bodies, triangular wings with upward-angled tips, and vertical tail stabilizers. Aeronautical engineers who looked at them concluded the objects showed principles of aircraft design. The objects are 1,000 years old, made centuries before human flight. Yet scaled-up models, when tested, fly. The objects were first catalogued as animal representations, possibly stylized birds. Then an aeronautical engineer noticed something unusual. The objects didn't look like any known animal. They looked like aircraft. What caught his attention were specific design features: wings positioned at the center of the body for balance, exactly where aircraft wings are placed. The triangular wing shape with upward-angled tips, dihedral angle, provides flight stability, a feature used in modern aircraft. The vertical tail stabilizer was positioned correctly for directional control. The proportions were equally telling. The ratio of wing area to body length, the position of center of gravity, the nose shape, all followed aerodynamic principles. To test his theory, the engineer built scaled-up models following exact proportions of the ancient objects. When tested in wind tunnels, the models showed excellent flight characteristics: stable, controllable, and aerodynamically efficient. The models were then equipped with small engines and tested in actual flight. They flew well, straight, stable, and responsive to controls. The ancient designs weren't just sculptures that happened to look like aircraft. They were accurate representations of working flying machines. Critics argued the similarity to aircraft was coincidental, but this explanation struggles with the specificity of design features. The dihedral wing angle, the position of wings relative to center of gravity, the vertical stabilizer, each is a specific design choice that improves flight performance. The cultural context adds another layer of mystery. The civilizations that made these objects had myths about flying machines and sky gods. Ancient texts describe vehicles that flew through the air. Were these purely mythological or memories of actual flying machines? The official archaeological position remains that the objects represent stylized animals, but this dismissal ignores the working aerodynamic features and successful flight tests of scaled-up models. 10. Natural nuclear reactor fossils. In 1972, scientists studying uranium ore from an African mine found something impossible. The uranium showed signs of nuclear fission. The isotope ratios showed nuclear chain reactions had happened naturally 2 billion years ago. But further tests revealed something even more amazing. The reactor showed proof of design, specific shapes, and mineral distributions that optimized the nuclear reaction. The discovery happened during routine tests. When technicians measured isotope ratios, they found the uranium was depleted in U-235, the fissile isotope used in reactors. Investigation revealed the depletion happened naturally through a process that shouldn't have been possible. The uranium ore deposits had served as natural nuclear reactors about 2 billion years ago. The concentration of uranium, presence of water as moderator, and arrangement of ore bodies made conditions allowing sustained nuclear chain reactions. When geologists studied the reactor zones, they found something remarkable. The nuclear reactions showed patterns suggesting optimization. The ore bodies were arranged in shapes that kept reactions going while preventing criticality accidents. Surrounding rock formations contained minerals that absorb nutrients, controlling reaction rates. Most amazing were signs the reactors operated in cycles. Reactions would run until heat built up, evaporating water and stopping the chain reaction. As rock cooled, water would seep back and the reaction would restart. This cycle repeated over hundreds of thousands of years, operating on and off, but never going critical. The shape of reactor zones especially puzzled scientists. The uranium ore formed specific shapes and arrangements. Some zones were cylindrical, others were layered. The configurations were best for keeping controlled nuclear reactions going. Surrounding each reactor zone were minerals serving specific jobs. Graphite deposits acted as neutron reflectors. Boron-containing minerals absorbed excess nutrients. Clay layers provided containment. Each element served a purpose in maintaining controlled fission. The advancement astonished nuclear engineers. Making nuclear reactors needs careful calculation of criticality, neutron flux, moderation, and control. The natural formations achieved all of these through geological arrangement that seems almost designed. Some researchers have proposed the reactors weren't entirely natural, that an ancient civilization carefully built or changed the ore deposits. This explanation is dismissed as impossible since the reactors operated 2 billion years ago. But the alternative, that nature randomly made optimized nuclear reactor shapes, seems equally unlikely. The official position remains that the reactors were entirely natural phenomena. But nuclear engineers who've studied the formations often express quiet doubt. The configurations are too perfect. The control mechanisms too advanced. 11. These 10 artifacts share one characteristic: they shouldn't exist. Each object shows technology or knowledge that doesn't fit our understanding of when such things were developed. The artifacts aren't on clay. They're real objects that can be measured and studied. The ancient battery makes current. The exact drilling shows machine accuracy. The astronomical computer contains working gear trains. Each represents solid proof that ancient people had abilities we don't understand. What's especially significant is how these discoveries are handled. The artifacts aren't denied. They are in museums, described in papers, acknowledged to exist. But their suggestions are minimized or explained away rather than seriously investigated. The pattern is steady: dismiss as hoax, then claim significance as overstated, then suggest natural phenomena or accidents, then stop investigating. What's rarely done is thorough, open-minded investigation, following proof wherever it leads. These artifacts raise deep questions about lost knowledge. Roman concrete was superior to modern cement, yet was lost for over 1,000 years. The astronomical computer represented advancement unseen for 1,500 years. How much other knowledge was lost? Perhaps human history isn't steady progress from primitive to advanced, but a series of rises and falls, with knowledge gained and lost multiple times. These artifacts might be surviving proof of previous peaks in the cycle. The refusal to seriously investigate is itself telling. Science claims to follow proof and remain open to unexpected findings. Yet artifacts challenging established timelines face institutional resistance. The message is clear. Some questions are better left unasked. These 10 objects prove ancient people were more advanced than we've believed. They had abilities we don't understand. They possessed knowledge that was lost and had to be rediscovered. The question isn't whether these artifacts are genuine. Most have been confirmed. The question is what we're willing to accept about our past. These objects exist. They are wrong for their time period, and they are waiting for someone brave enough to honestly investigate what they mean.